This week, we're going to take a look at the 9-point circle.
This week I only gave you 2 proofs for homework, so I don't want to go through any proofs with you in our video this week. So instead we're going to focus on the GeoGebra and creating the 9-point circle. So I'm going to start with a polygon and I'm just going to create a triangle. Remember, don't create a regular or equilateral triangle. We just want any old triangle. And then we're going to start constructing this. Now I'm choosing to construct this with you without the use of any of my tools, but obviously you can use the altitude tools, you can use the median or midpoint tools, and so forth. So we're just going to use the tools that are already available to us. I'm not going to load my tools template. So I'm going to accept the vertices of a triangle as input objects, and I'm going to get the circle and all 9 points of the 9-point circle. So I will start with the midpoint. So I want the midpoint of the side opposite A to be D, the side opposite B to be E, and the side opposite C to be F. So those are going to be 3 of the points on my midpoint circle. I'm sorry, on my 9-point circle. And then I'm going to include the feet of the altitudes. Now, don't remember if you recall this, but when we did the altitudes before, we said it was much easier to find the altitudes and make sure that they were always visible if we extended the sidelines of those triangles. So that's what I did. And then I'm going to do perpendicular line. So from A to the side opposite, from B to the side opposite, and from C to the side opposite. And then I'm going to use a point where those meet the sidelines of the triangle. So we have that point and this point, the intersection. I don't think I did a very good job there. Let me just move this around. So remember, you can always move it around if you're having trouble locating a point. So again, B to the opposite sideline and C to the opposite sideline. Oh, again, having a hard time. And again, you can always do point on object as well. So I've got my points, and again, I can move them around and make sure that I'm satisfied with that, which I am. But they do ask me to go ahead and label them as we should label them. So the feet of the altitudes are A prime. So I'm going to rename to A prime, rename to B prime, and rename to C prime. And lastly, what I want is the midpoint from A to the orthocenter, which is this point here in the middle at the intersection of those 3 altitudes. So now I'm going to use my midpoint tool from A to the midpoint. Now, yes, I realize that G is not what that should be called. It should be called H, but honestly, that one's not going to matter because that's not going to be a point that we care about. So I've got those 3 midpoints, and we're going to call those midpoints K, L, and M. Oops, undo that and just rename. I deleted instead. So rename to K and rename to L and rename to M. Now I've got the triangle and I've got some points here. It's not clear that they make a circle yet, but let's go ahead and make it clear. So now I'm going to construct a circle and I'm going to just choose 3 points. So what I'm actually going to do is choose A prime, B prime, and C prime. But as you can see, by choosing those points and moving my figure around, I can see that all of the points that I've constructed are all on that 9-point circle. So I've constructed the 9-point circle. Now I have to construct the tool. So it's up to you whether or not you hide any of these objects. As long as you know the points that you're looking for, the inputs and the outputs, you should be fine. So I'm going to just select the circle. You don't have to select anything. I'm going to go to Tools and Create New Tool. Notice it pre-populated with the circle, but I want the circle and I want A prime and B prime and C prime. And I want, let me see if I can multi-select. Nope, D and E and F. And I want K and L and M. And if I also want to see the triangle, I'm actually going to choose the triangle as an output as well. Now, the tool doesn't say to use the triangle, but otherwise I'm just going to have 3 random points, A, B, and C, and I won't see the triangle. I'll just see the points in the circle. So my input objects are point A, B, and C, and I'm going to call this 9-point circle and save it. So now if I delete this, ooh, I've got a lot of those. So now if I delete everything that's on here, and I'm going to go to hopefully the one I just created, and notice it's created the points and the circle. Now, the one I did before is possibly, nope. Everything's good. So I'm not sure why it saved 3 times, but it's working and it's doing exactly what I want it to do. So I've got my 3 points, A, B, C. I've got the sides opposite, and I've got the 9 points and the 9-point circle. So that's how I would create the 9-point circle. Now, I have not figured out a way to have the vertices or the new vertices that are created always match up with the correct labels. So obviously I have D, E, F, but notice this is not A prime as it should be, and so forth. So we can see, actually this point here is A prime. That should be A prime. This one should be D. So if you can figure out a way to make those vertices always be the correct vertex label, you please let me know, because I would love to know that answer.